Neighbors say they are fed up with a West Charlotte nightclub they call a trouble spot for police activity, but the owner says CMPD is putting too much of the blame on his business. Thanks for joining us at 10 tonight. I'm Brian Blakely. Queen City News reached out to Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police and the owner of Superstars to address neighbors' safety and crime concerns. The club is on Summit Avenue near Moorhead Street and Freedom Drive. Queen City News reporter David Schumann spoke with neighbors and the club's owner about the issues.
Police flooded the streets last month outside the nightclub Superstars in West Charlotte. Dozens of cruisers responded to a reported shooting in the area that injured 2 people. Nicole Manzioni, who lives across the street, reached out to Queen City News shortly after, saying this wasn't the first time something like this had happened.
There's just been constant crime there.
Police records we obtained show that officers have filed at least 20 reports at the club's address this year. They say that credit cards and guns have been stolen out of broken into cars. 2 people were mugged, and a food truck trailer was stolen. A CMPD report.
Welcome to the video. This is Justin Paul. Today, I'm doing a reaction here to a member of the community reached out to the news to complain about a nightclub in Charlotte called Superstars. This is actually my first time hearing of this nightclub. It really doesn't look like an establishment that I would be a patron of, but I can't say I wouldn't have been a patron of this type of establishment in my younger days. But wow, look at so this area has a long history, as they were saying, of violence. 2 people were shot just last month. Which was, reason why they had that heavy police presence in the beginning of this news clip. And also, cars being broken into, which is, definitely a common thing as far as like people at concerts and stuff like that. Or even going out to nightclubs, people are going to just sit and wait and watch, and hopefully, they could, score something if they break into your car. But they were saying credit cards being stolen out of cars, which I don't know why you would leave stuff like that in your car. Firearms stolen out of cars, assaults. They even said a food truck was taken. Like, that's crazy. Like a whole food truck trailer, like that's just crazy. Like, yo, like what's going on? But this member of the community reached out. She was out walking her dog, and she just basically had concerns as far as the crime that goes on or in that area, and they attributing it to the nightclub.
Report from May says 2 people were shot outside.
A weekend is like insanity here. There've been a few times I was in the dog park where like people are like, hey, you should go inside. Like somebody has a knife, somebody has a gun, like, and that's kind of wild.
I'm scared to walk my dogs like out on the weekend when Superstars has something going on, because I'm afraid of like being in the crossfire or something happening.
I spoke to the club owner, Larry Connor. He says he has 6 CMPD officers working security every night he's open. He also says he can't control and isn't responsible for what happens outside his club. As for the November shooting that led to this response, Connor showed us surveillance video he has of muzzle flashes that night off in the distance on a different street than Superstars. He feels the police presence was excessive and unnecessary. CMPD officials say they're aware of the safety issues at Superstars, but had no comment on how they're policing the club.
Yeah, I don't agree that the police presence is unnecessary, because when your city starts to become a city that's filled with these type of incidents, like violent incidents, the police presence is definitely important, because you got to find some way to deter this type of stuff from happening. And I get it, what he was saying. You can't really control what happens outside this club. That's true. You really can't. You really can't control what happens outside this club. And he does have, he was saying, 6 off-duty officers at his club when he opens and stuff like that. So he has cameras up, and so I partially do agree with that. And again, just probably one of those things to where the type of crowd that you attract to this venue is the reason why certain things like this happen. But you know, every crowd has to have somewhere to go, and you know, these neighbors are definitely going to be concerned because they're just really trying to go out and walk their dogs, and as they were saying, they don't really want to be caught in the crossfires of anything that happens, or you know, get mugged or anything. And you know, obviously people understand that, you know, people who come and patronize this club, who you know, come to go to this club, that you know, they're going to do things like have guns in their car. They're going to, you know, leave, you know, their wallets in their car, credit cards in their car, you know, just, you know, just, you know, one of those places to where they don't feel like there is enough deterrent there to keep them from doing these type of crimes outside this club or in that area. So, you know, just kind of one of those things. But you know, of course, you know, people within the community, after you know, so many things start to happen in their area, and you know, they may be paying a lot in rent, or you know, property tax, or you know, whatever, trying to raise kids, trying to, you know, really just enjoy their lives, like walking their dogs, just going outside, not necessarily being inside all day, or having to feel like they have to be stuck inside to be safe. You know, of course they're going to complain. And you know, sometimes you know, nobody's in the wrong, but you know, a lot of times it's all in how you know, go about handling your business, and you know, how you promote your business to the type of people that you know you're going to attract to your business, and the type of incidents that you're, you know, going to attract to happen outside of your business. So don't know what I have. Again, this is my first time ever hearing of superstars. Never heard of superstars before. And again, that wouldn't be anywhere that I would be planning on going.
It does definitely take a toll on my mental health.
In Charlotte, David Schumann, Queen City News.
Queen City News.
You know, she was saying it takes a toll on her mental health and stuff like that, when, you know, she had to worry about walking her dogs, and whether or not, you know, she's gonna be safe and stuff like that. And you know, I hope nothing, you know, no threats or anything comes to this lady, because you know, she's someone who lives in this area, and she has the right to feel the way that she feels, as far as you know, the public safety of her outside environment. She has every right to feel that way. So, you know, kudos to her for actually, you know, speaking up and saying something, because I know it's kind of hard because you worry about repercussions, and you know, she just wants to walk her dog. But you know, a lot of the clubs here in Charlotte are, you know, right near highways, to where you can easily get yourself onto a highway and get ghosts. A lot of times, man, people not even from Charlotte that do these type of things, so they just jump on the highway and go back to, you know, wherever they came from. So you know, it's been so many things to come out of Charlotte, man. Charlotte is like one of the last big cities in North Carolina that is holding on to some type of nightlife, and it's just a shame that there's every year there's always multiple incidents of shootings or someone losing their lives at these nightclubs. I haven't went to any nightclubs in like the Raleigh Durham area. Don't plan on it. But even there's a lot of shootings and night, you know, stuff like that. And Greensboro was, whew, man, Greensboro was decimated by this type of stuff. Either the business wasn't being ran right, or there was always violence at these places. So a lot of the places that, you know, I used to frequent in Greensboro are no longer in existence because of things like this. So um, you know, just got to be careful out there, everyone. That's pretty much all I can say. But if you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.